Today we're going to talk about stress in the autonomic nervous system. I have some slides so you can read along as we talk. What is stress? Stress is the body's response to any change. Stress is also a normal part of life. But stress can occur with positive or negative changes. Take a moment to think back to the last time you may have been planning a birthday party, getting ready for work or school, or planning a trip. Stress can be associated with these changes and with these events, and oftentimes we can see that as a positive stress because we're excited and looking forward to things. Stress does create physical, mental, and emotional changes, and so today I want to talk more about how our body regulates stress. The body regulates stress with the autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is divided into two parts, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. One useful analogy is that we can think of the parasympathetic nervous system as the brakes and the sympathetic nervous system as the gas. When the brakes are on, we're in the state of rest and digestion, connection, and ease. And when the gas is on, we're in fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or submit. Both of these are important. Imagine driving your car without the brakes or without the gas. Without the gas, it wouldn't go anywhere. But without the brakes, it would be a long and probably very exciting ride, and eventually you would run out of gas. The sympathetic nervous system, or the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or submit, engages when there is a felt sense of threat, such as stress. It doesn't necessarily mean that we are currently in danger, but we are experiencing threat to our well-being, threat to our lives, threat to our sense of self. I want to talk about the body systems and what happens when each of these systems is engaged. First, the breath. When we're resting and we're in the parasympathetic state, we have regular, rhythmic, full-toned, and predictable breath. On the other hand, if we're feeling threatened, we have short, erratic breath, and we often find ourselves holding our breath. When we think about our body resources, our blood, when we're in the sympathetic, parasympathetic, and relaxed state, goes to our major organs, our immune system, our skin, cell regeneration, and to our digestion. When we're in the stress state, our blood's all going to our major muscles, our heart, and our lungs, preparing us to fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or submit. Our brain, when we're in the relaxed state, we have full access to all parts. We have access to our memories, to our logic, to our creativity. And when we're in the threatened state, our amygdala takes over and hijacks all those parts of our brain. We'll talk more about that in a minute. The neurotransmitters that are released when we're relaxed are serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. Neurotransmitters that are associated with reward, with pleasure, and with connection. When we're in the stress state, adrenaline and cortisol are released. Very useful for getting things done, but we don't want to have them around all the time. Another useful analogy for what's happening in our brain is when we're in the parasympathetic nervous system, we have all the channels available on cable. We have full streaming services and we can access every part of our brain. We can think about happy memories. We can use our logic and solve a math problem or a puzzle. We can use our creativity to create art, music, and amazing pieces of literature. When we're in the sympathetic state or the stress state, it's like having 5 channels: fight, flight, freeze, fawn, and submit. Because we want to have access to all of the channels and not just the 5 channels, it's helpful to find ways to manage stress. We know that movement helps stress chemicals move through our body and can help us manage our stress response. Some people find vigorous exercise really helpful. Other people prefer slow movement like yoga, tai chi, or qigong. Meditation can be one way that we relieve stress. We learn to manage our thoughts, channeling them towards one thing at a time. Distraction can also help us. If we're really focused on something that's stressful, sometimes we can use TV or a movie or a game to distract us from what we're thinking about. Friends and other trusted people can be really helpful ways of managing stress. We can call them and talk to them about the problem, and sometimes we feel better even though nothing has changed. Getting enough sleep helps us regulate our stress response. That may sound counterintuitive because stress does affect sleep, but we can work on our sleep habits as well. Drawing or writing can help us manage stress, and honoring our spirituality. Prayer and reflection can help us to manage our stress. Doing self-care activities can also be helpful. Some people like to take baths or showers. Some people like to get a massage, get their hair done, and some people like to do their nails or other creative things. Sometimes it's helpful to see a counselor because you can have a perspective that's outside the current situation to talk about the stress. Getting a change of scenery, sometimes just going for a walk or a drive can help us feel better and less stressed. Limiting our nicotine, caffeine, and alcohol intake, and sometimes even sugar, can help us feel better when we're stressed. And setting healthy boundaries is also very important. I like to say no is a complete sentence. Take a moment to make a list of ways that you find helpful to manage your stress. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.